So here we are at the end, and it was kind of a cool surprise finish. The white stack lost its big unit, an 8-pointer. Let's see, this is hard. An 8-pointer due to a plague event. What is it? D? F. F shot their red stack up, taking the chance. Had a 2-to-1 attack. And got the one result that would lose them the game. They rolled a 6. Ended up, sorry about the, I'm trying to do things differently. I'm using a tripod, can't you tell? Yeah, but I'm using it wrong. And ended up losing the Tsar, still alive, to the E player. I ranked the final victory points on this, and this is white points only. A got 6 total, which isn't surprising. That's where they were before. B got 26, which is pretty much where they were. I don't remember what they gained or how. C dropped down to oh, there was a purge, but that's not what did this, I don't think. C got 22, it might be. C got 21, down from 22. They lost, no, purge wouldn't matter. I don't know where these points are disappearing to. Maybe I've been miscounting before, or maybe this time, who knows. D is still at 6. E ended up winning at 51, and that's not surprising. They're on the map and managed to kill off a lot of reds in their final battle. And finally, F, who was actually the victor of a purge and killed some green units, pulled their way up to 19. The pole, oh, that's how they got it. They got it off the poles killing some reds. The Poles, I would say, right now have the largest army on the board. They're going to be able to form a greater Poland out of Russia. The Tsar remains in power. Probably is giving up the Baltic states, but maybe not. He doesn't have much strength. All right. So, let's see what we can do. What do I think about this sucker? It's a fantastic little game. It's not really a simulation. It's great fun though for 4, 5, or 6 players. I think I've had a lot of enjoyment with this. The couple of times I've managed to get a group together to play it. In terms of complexity, it's actually not too bad. It takes me a couple hours maybe to read and understand the rules enough to play them. Obviously, I still made mistakes, but that wasn't so much from rules as sloppiness. We saw some silliness, though, at the end of the game, and that can happen, where things kind of stalemated and everybody's just sitting there waiting for something to collapse. In a sense, that's not so bad. I mean, if you think about it historically, powers could end up consolidating somewhere until some event destroys them in an unstable situation like this. On the other hand, in terms of gameplay, it's kind of vaguely annoying to sit around just rolling dice, especially when you have nothing to move on the board anymore, to see what events happen. Of course, you could leave the game, in which case you're no longer rolling the dice, and that's an option, but it definitely changes things. In terms of the rules, I'm kind of annoyed by the fact, maybe because of diplomacy, the rules to the game end on page 9 out of 20 pages. There's a couple pages of historical notes and a summary of rules, which is useful. But the rest of it all has to do, and there's a small solitaire game, whatever that's valuable for, which is kind of like, geez, why would you add that to that? The diplomacy aspect, they added a postal version. And that has very different rules as well. So they spent a lot of effort putting additional rules out. I don't know if that's a big crank. I mean, they spent a lot of money on making a nice hard board and on the box. And in my case, I think I must have gotten something that somebody had to get extra pieces for, because it has an extra European board, and somewhere or another I have a whole new counter set, I think, maybe minus a couple pieces. Setup's kind of weird, but overall I think this is one of the coolest little games that SPI made. They made a number of weird things. Spies comes to mind. A Mighty Fortress. I can't really think of them all. Empires of the Middle Ages doesn't really count in the same light tone. I think it requires a bigger devotion, at least in time, than this does. This is a couple hours to play, I think. I've certainly played it in a couple hours in large groups. But maybe other than Empires, this is the best of the set. Empires is a very good game, and I'll get that out for you guys at some point. Right now my interwebs is dead. I don't know whether or not I'm going to play Samurai or Russia first. Mixed feelings both ways. I really like to get Samurai out for people. But anyway, I think this is a fantastic game. If you ever get a chance to pick it up, for under $20. No, I think it's well worth the price of a new game. I don't know if it. I mean, the concept of a board game for a couple $100 that's just a playable, fun game is really tough on me. I mean, I'll blow that kind of money on DAC or something, but no way that I would touch this for that. But for some people, obviously that's the case. I mean, I've seen it going for those kind of prices. It would be great if it got reprinted, though, because I think this is really a treasure from SPI, and not at all like most of their other stuff. Very light, very accessible to anyone. Somewhere between, you may have trouble getting this to your Euro friends if they play, but it's somewhere between a Euro and kind of the bigger, almost war games that I'd put things like Pax Britannica, etc. That I've been able to get people to play all of those, But this one you could get almost any gaming group to agree to once they give it a try.